What's up, Mansion Builders? In this podcast, I want to share with you how I was a hostage to my business, how I got out of that, and how you can avoid that trap. When we first opened our business, there was a lot of things on the operation side that I didn't know. And I felt like I was trapped. I felt like I was a hostage. We had a disagreement with one of our managers, and I wanted to let this person go. But Laura and I, we both didn't know all of the duties, right? We didn't know the medication management stuff. We didn't know the dementia stuff. And we were scared. We were like, if we let this person go, we don't know what to do. Everything's gonna blow up. It's gonna fall apart. What are we gonna do? And we just kept trying to fix it, right? We're trying to fix it, but it just wasn't a good fit. And we just kept trying to force it. And we were sacrificing our well-being, right? We were losing our time freedom because we were stuck in this hard place. And instead of just biting the bullet and saying, let's just figure it out, we'll learn it ourselves, we kept delaying for months. And I wanna tell you that that is not real financial freedom. We were making great money, right? On paper, we had financial freedom, but we did not have time freedom. We did not have stress freedom, right? Because there was a conflict, right? We had relationships that were not working in the business. So I want to tell you that it is okay to release those people, to let them go somewhere else if they are not a good fit. But you know what that means? That means you as the owner, you as the CEO, you have to know every single role that goes on in your business. You have to know the marketing, you have to know the sales, the medication management, you have to know the hiring, you have to know the scheduling, you have to know the families, you have to know all of these things. Now that does not mean you have to be an expert. Honestly, you should not be as good as the people you hire. If you can be 70 to 80% as good as those people, that's all you need, right? Because honestly, you just need to be able to fire them if you need to, rehire someone and retrain somebody by having those systems dialed in, and then you get back in the owner's seat. There may be a short window of a month or so where you have to do the actual duties, right? Where you stop working on the business and you just start working in the business. That is realistic. When you are a small business, you have to step in sometimes as the owner and just get crap done. So as you hire your manager or you promote your next manager, go through it step by step, learn all the systems, learn all the roles and the duties. And honestly, it'll help you to see through the BS. When they start pulling stuff and saying, hey, you know what, it has to be done this way because this is what, nursing code says. You're like, no, it's not. I know what the code says. Or they say, hey, this is what state regulation says. No, it's not. I know what the state regulation says, right? There is a lot of people that work in big facilities that are managers that'll come pull all sorts of BS like that saying it has to be like that. This is your business, right? You should know the code and the rules, but honestly, you are the one who says, I get to build my business and run it like this. And if it's something you don't like, then take possession, take ownership and say, we're doing it this way. But you should know if there are some accuracies to what they're saying. But a lot of times it's a bunch of old wives' tales, something that maybe used to be the case 30 years ago, and then it was passed on to their training manager, and then they were trained it, and now they're training all your staff on something that is not true anymore, or it's just not best practice. So if you can know how to do these roles, it'll honestly help you to release those people, find someone new. You'll be a way better interviewer because you'll be able to ask these in-depth questions of, hey, what about this task? How do you do this? And you'll know whether they're fluffing you or not because you can ask 3, 4, 5 questions deep. If it was like this, how would you do it? If it was like this, how would you do it? Right? You're not going to get the wool pulled over your eyes with somebody who's made up their experience or they're just kind of fluff. The second thing that I think is really important to guaranteeing your time freedom is having a backup plan. And that a lot of times is a backup person. If you have one manager, that's totally fine. But you know what? You should be developing a backup manager. If that's your best caregiver, maybe you promote them to lead. Maybe you give them a little bit of a bump on the pay, but you should start implementing and teaching them some of these systems. If you can have your manager do it, great. If not, I would still make sure that they are learning these things, right? Giving yourself the opportunity to, if things go sideways, you could fire your manager and you could promote this lead or you can promote this assistant manager. I like having backups for every single position, right? I don't want to step in and do the day-to-day work. I want to stay in my role as the CEO, working on the business, managing the systems, encouraging the team. But sometimes you have to fire the key person in that role, and I don't want to feel trapped to do it. And I also want to make sure that I can plug someone in. They might not be as great, but you know what? At least they have a basic foundation that's already been laid, and I can say, here's the systems, here's it step by step. I've already documented, I've already videotized everything. Now go through and let's learn this together, or let me show you how to do this. The other component that this allows is promoting from within. And we don't have like this job, this business that's rocket science here, right? You don't need a master's degree to take care of people. It's just ADLs. And honestly, I think that character is the most important. So if you are creating a backup plan with a backup person, you just pick character. You systematize your business, you pick someone with character, and then honestly, you can teach them pretty much all of these things. It's not that complicated. Even as you get into the medication management and the dementia and scheduling and all that kind of stuff, you can teach a caregiver, honestly, if you find the right person. And I think that is my lesson for you. Find the right person and cultivate them, develop them as your backup person. Because freedom is not when you get to the 500 grand a year, right? You can get there and still be stuck in your business. You can get there and be pulling your hair out like, oh my gosh, like I can't stand this business, I need to sell it. I've been in that season several times. But we're in a season now where it's like, I have true freedom, right? I have the financial freedom, I have the time freedom, I have the peace of mind. And that is because even though the income is there, I also have managers who are solid, 2 full-time managers per mansion running them, and I have the peace of mind because I know that I could replace them if I need to, right? They're awesome, they're rock stars, I don't need to, but nonetheless, there is backup plans, there is systems to it. So real freedom for me is when I can go to bed at night, I can go on vacation for several weeks at a time, and I know that my business is taken care of. I know that my grandmas and my grandpas are taken care of, and they're getting the best of the best care, and I'm not worrying about the little drama and the people that are there. So if you're new to this industry and you're like me, you have a real estate background, you know how to do deals, but you don't know anything about the business side, the management, the operations side, I would encourage you to dive into it. I was able to learn it, Laura was able to learn it, we were able to hire people who had experience in it, and then create the systems for it. Honestly, it was about a year of learning the systems, developing them, and then I was able to get my time freedom. So I think this has been the best real estate deal that I've ever done. I have the real estate play worth millions of dollars, crazy cash flow, but then I also have this active business that makes great money. So I'm able to provide a fantastic active income for my family, and I'm able to provide huge real estate play when I go to sell the business and my real estate.